Men are moved by two levers only: fear and self-interest. Napoleon Bonaparte, they tell you hard work guarantees success. They want you to believe in a linear path, a steady climb. They need you to believe it. It keeps you docile, predictable, and easily managed. The truth is, the world doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. There are millions working harder than you who will never see a fraction of your opportunities. They toil in obscurity, believing the lie that diligence alone will lift them. But the system isn't designed to reward everyone. It's designed to concentrate power and wealth. The harder you work within a broken system, the more you reinforce its flaws. The real game is understanding the rules they don't tell you, the levers of power they keep hidden. It's about recognizing that the path to success isn't a straight line but a complex web of connections, calculated risks, and strategic alliances. Stop believing the comforting lie. Start seeing the uncomfortable truth. They tell you to be nice. They preach the virtues of kindness, empathy, and turning the other cheek. They call it being a good person. In reality, excessive niceness is a weakness. It's an invitation for exploitation. The world isn't a playground of friendly faces waiting to reward your good intentions. It's a battlefield where people are constantly vying for power, resources, and advantage. Blind kindness makes you a target. It signals that you're easily manipulated, that you prioritize the needs of others over your own survival. True strength isn't about being universally liked. It's about being respected and sometimes feared. It's about knowing when to be compassionate and when to be ruthless. It's about protecting your own interests, even if it means disappointing or upsetting others. Stop being a people pleaser. Start being a force to be reckoned with. They tell you money can't buy happiness. It's a convenient myth perpetuated by those who already have it and those who can't attain it. Poverty is a soul-crushing burden. It limits your choices, restricts your opportunities, and forces you to live in a constant state of anxiety and scarcity. Money, on the other hand, buys freedom. It buys security. It buys experiences. It buys the ability to pursue your passions, to protect your loved ones, and to leave a lasting legacy. While money alone may not guarantee happiness, it certainly removes a significant number of obstacles that stand in its way. It's a foundation upon which a fulfilling life can be built. Don't let them shame you for wanting financial security. Embrace the pursuit of wealth as a means to achieve greater autonomy and control over your own destiny. Stop believing the lie of contentment in poverty. Start building a life of abundance and freedom. They tell you to follow your passion. They romanticize the idea of turning your hobby into a career, ignoring the harsh realities of the marketplace. Passion is important, but it's not enough. The world doesn't care about your dreams. It cares about what you can offer, what value you can provide. Countless passionate artists, musicians, and writers struggle to make ends meet, while those who possess in-demand skills thrive. The key is to find the intersection between your passion and the market's needs. Identify a skill that you enjoy and that people are willing to pay for. Hone that skill, master it, and then leverage it to create value and generate income. Don't blindly chase your dreams without considering the practical realities of the world. Combine passion with strategy and build a career that is both fulfilling and financially rewarding. Stop romanticizing passion. Start mastering skills that pay. They tell you to be yourself. They encourage you to embrace your individuality, regardless of how strange or unconventional it may be. But in reality, society rewards conformity. It punishes those who deviate too far from the norm. Being yourself, without understanding the social dynamics at play, is a recipe for isolation and failure. The truth is, success requires a degree of adaptation. It requires understanding the expectations of the people you interact with and adjusting your behavior accordingly. This doesn't mean sacrificing your core values or suppressing your true personality. It means being strategic about how you present yourself, choosing your battles wisely, and understanding when to conform and when to challenge. It's about being authentic, but also being aware of the context in which you operate. Stop blindly being yourself. Start strategically adapting to the world around you. They tell you that failure is a bad thing. They want you to be afraid of making mistakes to avoid taking risks. But failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone. Every successful person has experienced countless failures along the way. The key is to learn from your mistakes, to adapt your strategy, and to keep moving forward. Fear of failure paralyzes you. It prevents you from taking the bold actions necessary to achieve your goals. Embrace failure as an opportunity for growth. See it as valuable feedback that can help you refine your approach and ultimately achieve your objectives. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not learning from your failures. They tell you to trust authority. They encourage you to respect your elders, your teachers, your leaders. But authority is not always right. It can be corrupt, misguided, or simply incompetent. Blind faith in authority is dangerous. It can lead you down the wrong path, prevent you from thinking critically, and make you vulnerable to manipulation. Question everything. Challenge assumptions. Demand evidence. Don't blindly accept what you are told, especially by those in positions of power. Develop your own independent judgment and make your own decisions based on your own analysis. Stop blindly trusting authority. Start thinking for yourself. They tell you that the system is fair. They want you to believe that everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. But the system is rigged. It's designed to benefit those who are already in power. Wealth, privilege, and connections play a significant role in determining who rises to the top. Ignoring this reality is naive. It puts you at a disadvantage. Understanding the rules of the game and the ways in which it is rigged is essential for navigating the system and achieving your own goals. Don't be fooled by the illusion of fairness. Acknowledge the inequalities and strategize accordingly. Stop believing in a fair system. Start exploiting the unfair one. They tell you to be patient. They preach the virtues of delayed gratification, telling you that good things come to those who wait. But patience without action is stagnation. The world rewards those who are proactive, those who seize opportunities, those who make things happen. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create your own opportunities. Take calculated risks. Be persistent and relentless in the pursuit of your goals. Waiting passively will get you nowhere. Action, even imperfect action, is always better than inaction. Stop waiting for your turn. Start creating your own reality. They tell you to be honest. Honesty is generally a virtue, but it can also be a liability. In a world of deception and manipulation, honesty can be a weakness that is easily exploited. Sometimes, strategic deception is necessary to protect your interests, to gain an advantage, or to achieve your objectives. This doesn't mean lying indiscriminately. It means understanding when honesty is the best policy and when it is necessary to be more discreet or even deceptive. It's about being strategic with the truth and using it as a tool to achieve your goals. Stop being blindly honest. Start being strategically truthful. They tell you that ignorance is bliss. They encourage you to avoid uncomfortable truths, to remain in a state of blissful unawareness. But ignorance is not bliss, it's a prison. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of deception and manipulation. Knowledge is power. The more you understand about the world, the better equipped you are to navigate it, to protect yourself, and to achieve your goals. Seek out uncomfortable truths. Challenge your own assumptions. Embrace knowledge, even when it is painful or unsettling. Stop embracing ignorance. Start seeking the truth, no matter how harsh it may be. They tell you to be humble. They equate humility with virtue and pride with arrogance. But excessive humility can be a form of self-sabotage. It can prevent you from recognizing your own strengths, from asserting your value, and from pursuing your ambitions. Confidence is essential for success. Believing in yourself and projecting that belief to others is crucial for attracting opportunities and achieving your goals. Don't be afraid to showcase your accomplishments. Don't be afraid to demand what you deserve. Stop being excessively humble. Start embracing your own worth. They tell you that you can be anything you want to be. This is a comforting lie, but it's not true. Genetics, circumstances, and past choices all limit your potential. Not everyone can be a star athlete, a genius scientist, or a billionaire entrepreneur. Recognizing your limitations is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of intelligence. It allows you to focus your energy and resources on areas where you have the greatest potential for success. Don't waste your time chasing unrealistic dreams. Identify your strengths, acknowledge your weaknesses, and focus on becoming the best version of yourself within the realm of what is possible. Stop believing you can be anything. Start focusing on what you realistically can become. They tell you to be agreeable to avoid conflict, to always seek compromise. They paint confrontation as inherently negative and cooperation as the ultimate virtue. But sometimes, confrontation is necessary. Sometimes, standing your ground and fighting for what you believe in is the only way to achieve your goals and protect your interests. Agreeableness, taken to an extreme, becomes weakness. It allows others to exploit you, to take advantage of your good nature, and to walk all over you. Learn to assert yourself. Learn to say no. Learn to fight when necessary. Stop prioritizing agreement above all else. Start recognizing the power of strategic confrontation. They tell you that happiness is the ultimate goal. They preach the pursuit of pleasure, the avoidance of pain, and the constant striving for positive emotions. But happiness is fleeting and fragile. It's dependent on external circumstances, on the whims of fate, and on the approval of others. A life devoted solely to the pursuit of happiness is a shallow and ultimately unsatisfying life. Seek meaning instead. Seek purpose. Seek something larger than yourself to dedicate your life to. Meaning provides resilience in the face of adversity. It gives you something to strive for, even when happiness eludes you. Stop chasing fleeting happiness. Start pursuing enduring meaning. They tell you to be grateful for what you have. While gratitude is important, it can also be used as a tool of manipulation. They want you to be content with mediocrity, to accept your current situation without striving for more. They want you to believe that wanting more is somehow greedy or immoral. But ambition is not a vice, it's a virtue. It's the driving force behind progress, innovation, and self-improvement. Never be satisfied with the status quo. Always strive to improve yourself, to achieve more, and to make a greater impact on the world. Stop being passively grateful. Start actively pursuing your ambitions. They tell you to trust your feelings. They encourage you to follow your heart, to listen to your intuition, and to make decisions based on your emotions. But emotions are often irrational, unreliable, and easily manipulated. They are influenced by biases, by past experiences, and by the opinions of others. Relying solely on your feelings can lead you to make impulsive decisions, to fall prey to manipulation, and to sabotage your own success. Learn to control your emotions. Learn to think critically. Learn to make decisions based on logic and reason, not on fleeting feelings. Stop blindly trusting your emotions. Start cultivating rational thought. They tell you that everyone deserves respect. They preach universal respect, regardless of merit, achievement, or behavior. But respect is earned, not given. It's a reward for competence, for integrity, and for contributing something of value to the world. Respecting those who are incompetent, dishonest, or destructive is not only foolish, it's dangerous. It enables bad behavior, it undermines standards, and it ultimately harms society as a whole. Reserve your respect for those who deserve it. Withhold it from those who don't. Stop giving respect indiscriminately. Start demanding respect through your actions. They tell you that failure is always a learning opportunity. While it's true that you can learn from your mistakes, failure is not something to be celebrated. It's something to be avoided if possible. Chronic failure is a sign of incompetence, of poor judgment, or of a lack of effort. Constantly rationalizing your failures as learning experiences is a form of self-deception. Strive for success. Learn from your mistakes, but don't become complacent with failure. Stop romanticizing failure. Start prioritizing success. They tell you that hard work always pays off. While hard work is certainly important, it's not a guarantee of success. Many people work incredibly hard their entire lives without ever achieving their goals. Talent, opportunity, and luck all play a significant role in determining success. Working hard in the wrong direction or on the wrong things is a waste of time and energy. Focus your efforts strategically. Identify the areas where your hard work will have the greatest impact. Stop believing that hard work alone is enough. Start working smart, not just hard. They tell you that money is the root of all evil. They demonize wealth, they glorify poverty, and they encourage you to be content with less. But money is simply a tool. It can be used for good or for evil, depending on the character of the person who wields it. Money provides freedom, security, and opportunity. It allows you to pursue your passions, to support your loved ones, and to make a positive impact on the world. Don't be ashamed of wanting to be wealthy. Don't let others guilt you into accepting poverty. Stop believing that money is evil. Start using money as a tool for good. They tell you to be yourself. This is often used as an excuse for bad behavior, for a lack of self-improvement, and for a refusal to adapt to social norms. While authenticity is important, it shouldn't come at the expense of personal growth. Identify your flaws. Work to overcome your weaknesses. Strive to become a better version of yourself. Don't hide behind the excuse of being yourself to justify your shortcomings. Stop blindly accepting yourself. Start actively improving yourself. They tell you that everyone is equal. This is a comforting lie, but it's not true. People are born with different abilities, different talents, and different levels of drive. Some people are simply more capable, more intelligent, and more hardworking than others. Acknowledging these differences is not a form of discrimination. It's a form of realism. It allows you to identify your strengths and weaknesses, to choose your battles wisely, and to compete effectively in the world. Stop believing in the myth of equality. Start recognizing and leveraging your unique advantages. Consider the example of a rising executive named Mark. Mark is ambitious, intelligent, and driven. He quickly climbs the corporate ladder, surpassing his peers through hard work and strategic networking. However, Mark soon realizes that merit alone is not enough to reach the very top. He witnesses firsthand how office politics, backstabbing, and ruthless deal-making become the norm at higher levels. His colleagues, once seemingly supportive, now see him as competition. He overhears whispers and feels the subtle shifts in alliances. Mark is faced with a choice: either play the game or be left behind. He observes his superiors, men who have reached the pinnacle of success, and notices a pattern. They are not necessarily the most ethical or the most talented, but they are masters of manipulation. They know how to control information, how to exploit weaknesses, and how to project an image of unwavering confidence. Mark understands that these men did not rise to the top by playing fair. They embraced the darker aspects of human nature, leveraging fear, insecurity, and greed to their advantage. They cultivated a network of loyalists who were willing to do their bidding, and they eliminated anyone who posed a threat to their power. The corporate world, like any competitive environment, rewards those who are willing to do whatever it takes to win. This includes bending the rules, breaking promises, and sacrificing others for personal gain. Mark realizes that to succeed at the highest level, he must adopt a similar mindset. He begins to study the tactics of his superiors, learning how to use charm and flattery to gain influence, how to spread rumors to undermine his rivals, and how to take credit for the work of others. He starts to cultivate his own network of loyalists, offering them promises of advancement and protection in exchange for their unwavering support. He becomes adept at anticipating the moves of his opponents, preemptively neutralizing any potential threats. Mark's transformation is gradual but undeniable. He becomes less trusting, more calculating, and increasingly ruthless. He sacrifices his personal relationships, his moral compass, and his sense of integrity in pursuit of power. His former friends and colleagues begin to see him as a different person. They whisper about his ambition, his ruthlessness, and his willingness to betray anyone who stands in his way. Mark, however, is unfazed. He is focused on his goal, and he is willing to pay any price to achieve it. He understands that success in this world requires a certain level of ruthlessness, and he is prepared to embrace it fully. The truth is that the world is not a meritocracy. Hard work and talent are important, but they are not enough. You must also be willing to play the game, to navigate the politics, and to make difficult choices. You must be willing to compromise your values, to betray your friends, and to sacrifice your integrity if necessary. This is the harsh reality that they don't want you to know. They want you to believe that success is attainable through hard work and honesty alone. They want you to be naive, trusting, and easily manipulated. But the truth is that the world is a battleground and only the strong survive. To succeed, you must be willing to fight, to strategize, and to do whatever it takes to win. Mark's journey is a stark reminder that the path to success is often paved with compromise and betrayal. It is a testament to the dark side of human nature and the lengths to which people will go to achieve their ambitions. It is a lesson that the world is not always fair, and that sometimes the only way to win is to play dirty. This is the truth they hide from you, the uncomfortable reality they want you to ignore. They want you to believe in a world of fairness and justice, where good always triumphs over evil. But the reality is that the world is a complex and often ruthless place, where power and influence are often acquired through manipulation and deceit. Understanding this reality is not an endorsement of unethical behavior. It is a recognition of the forces at play and a call to action to protect yourself from being exploited. To succeed in this world, you must be aware of the potential for manipulation and be prepared to defend yourself against it. This means developing your critical thinking skills, building a strong network of allies, and cultivating a healthy dose of skepticism. It also means being willing to walk away from situations that compromise your values or put you at risk. The example of Mark serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the dangers of unchecked ambition and the corrosive effects of power. It is a reminder that true success is not just about achieving material wealth or social status, but also about maintaining your integrity and staying true to your values. It is about finding a balance between ambition and compassion, between strength and empathy, and between success and significance. The world will try to convince you that you must compromise your values to succeed. They will tell you that you must be ruthless, cunning, and willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. But this is a lie. You can achieve success without sacrificing your integrity. You can be ambitious without being ruthless, and you can be powerful without being corrupt. The trap is baited with comfort, disguised as opportunity, and sprung with devastating predictability. It's the illusion of security, the promise of easy success, the soothing lullaby of conformity that lulls the weak into a state of perpetual dependence. They crave the approval of the crowd, fear the sting of criticism, and willingly surrender their autonomy for the sake of fitting in. This desire for acceptance becomes their prison, their ambition diluted by the need to please, their potential stifled by the fear of judgment. The weak are obsessed with fairness, clinging to the naive belief that merit will always be rewarded and that hard work alone guarantees success. They fail to recognize that the game is rigged, that power structures are designed to perpetuate themselves, and that true opportunity often lies outside the boundaries of established systems. They are sheep, content to graze in the pasture, oblivious to the shepherd's true intentions. They prioritize stability over growth, comfort over challenge, and security over freedom. They are easily manipulated by fear, readily swayed by propaganda, and willingly sacrifice their principles for the promise of a safe and predictable existence. This inherent weakness stems from a lack of self-awareness, a failure to understand their own motivations, and an inability to critically examine the world around them. They accept narratives at face value, rarely questioning the underlying assumptions or challenging the dominant ideologies. They are products of their environment, molded by societal expectations, and conditioned to conform to the status quo. This lack of independent thought makes them vulnerable to manipulation, susceptible to propaganda, and easily controlled by those in power. They are the cogs in the machine, the drones in the hive, the compliant masses who uphold the very systems that oppress them. They seek validation from external sources, measuring their worth by the opinions of others, and constantly striving to meet unrealistic expectations. This external focus leaves them vulnerable to emotional manipulation, easily influenced by the desires and agendas of those who seek to control them. They are puppets on strings, dancing to the tune of societal approval, their lives dictated by the whims of others. The pursuit of instant gratification further weakens them. They chase fleeting pleasures, indulging in momentary comforts and sacrificing long-term goals for short-term gains. This lack of discipline and foresight prevents them from building meaningful skills, developing strong character, and achieving lasting success. They are slaves to their impulses, driven by immediate desires, and incapable of delaying gratification for the sake of a greater reward. This short-sightedness leaves them perpetually stuck in a cycle of mediocrity, forever chasing fleeting pleasures and never achieving true fulfillment. They avoid risk at all costs, clinging to the illusion of safety and security, and failing to recognize that true growth lies in embracing uncertainty. This fear of failure paralyzes them, preventing them from taking chances, pursuing their dreams, and reaching their full potential. They are prisoners of their own comfort zones, content to exist within the confines of their limitations, and unwilling to venture into the unknown. This aversion to risk leaves them stagnant and unfulfilled, forever wondering what could have been if they had only dared to try. The weak are consumed by envy, constantly comparing themselves to others and resenting the success of those around them. This toxic emotion poisons their minds, clouding their judgment, and preventing them from appreciating their own unique talents and abilities. They are too busy focusing on what they lack to recognize what they possess, too consumed by jealousy to celebrate the achievements of others. This envy breeds resentment, bitterness, and ultimately, self-destruction. They become consumed by negativity, constantly criticizing and undermining those around them, and sabotaging their own chances of success. The weak fail to understand that true success is not about tearing others down, but about lifting yourself up, and that the only competition that truly matters is the one you have with yourself. The strategy for navigating this world, for thriving amidst the mediocrity and escaping the clutches of weakness, demands a Machiavellian approach. It requires a cold, calculating understanding of human nature, a willingness to manipulate and deceive, and an unwavering commitment to your own self-interest. This is not a path for the faint of heart, nor is it a path that will win you popularity contests. It is a path for those who are willing to sacrifice moral purity for personal power. The first principle of this strategy is to understand that people are inherently self-serving. They are driven by their own desires, their own fears, and their own ambitions. They will lie, cheat, and steal to get what they want, and they will betray you without a second thought if it serves their purposes. To believe otherwise is to be naive, and naivety is a fatal flaw in this arena. You must learn to see people for who they truly are, not for who they pretend to be. Strip away the facade of politeness and morality, and you will find the raw, primal instincts that drive their behavior. Once you understand this, you can begin to manipulate them to your advantage. The second principle is to cultivate an image of strength and competence. People are drawn to power, and they will follow those who project confidence and authority. Even if you are feeling insecure or uncertain, you must never let it show. Maintain a calm and controlled demeanor, speak with conviction, and always appear to be in command of the situation. This does not mean that you should be arrogant or overbearing. On the contrary, a subtle display of power is far more effective than a blatant one. Let your actions speak louder than your words, and let your reputation precede you. The third principle is to exploit the weaknesses of others. Everyone has vulnerabilities, whether they are personal insecurities, financial problems, or professional ambitions. Identify these weaknesses and use them to your advantage. This does not necessarily mean that you should be cruel or malicious. Sometimes, simply offering a helping hand at the right moment can be enough to gain someone's loyalty and obedience. Other times, you may need to apply more subtle forms of pressure, such as spreading rumors, withholding information, or playing people against each other. The key is to be strategic and calculated, and to always be aware of the potential consequences of your actions. The fourth principle is to never reveal your true intentions. Keep your cards close to your chest, and never let anyone know what you are really thinking or planning. The more mysterious you are, the more powerful you will become. People are naturally suspicious of those they do not understand, and they will be more likely to defer to your judgment if they believe that you possess some hidden knowledge or secret advantage. This does not mean that you should be dishonest or deceitful. However, you should always be careful about what you say and do, and you should never give anyone a reason to doubt your integrity. The fifth principle is to be ruthless when necessary. There will be times when you have to make difficult decisions, decisions that may hurt or offend others. In these moments, you must be prepared to act decisively and without remorse. Sentimentality is a luxury that you cannot afford. The world is a competitive place, and if you are not willing to do what it takes to succeed, you will be left behind. This does not mean that you should be a heartless monster. However, you should always put your own interests first, and you should never allow your emotions to cloud your judgment. The sixth principle is to cultivate a network of allies. No one can achieve true power alone. You need to surround yourself with people who are loyal, trustworthy, and capable. These allies can provide you with support, advice, and resources, and they can help you to achieve your goals. However, you must be careful about who you choose to associate with. Not everyone is who they seem to be, and some people may be secretly plotting against you. Choose your allies wisely and always be prepared to betray them if necessary. The seventh principle is to be patient and persistent. Success does not happen overnight. It takes time, effort, and dedication to achieve your goals. You will face setbacks and obstacles along the way, but you must never give up. Learn from your mistakes, adapt to changing circumstances, and keep moving forward. The weak are easily discouraged, but the strong are resilient. They persevere through adversity, and they emerge stronger and more determined than ever before. The eighth principle is to be adaptable and flexible. The world is constantly changing, and you must be able to adapt to new situations and challenges. What works today may not work tomorrow. You must be willing to abandon old strategies and embrace new ones, and you must always be open to new ideas and perspectives. Rigidity is a sign of weakness. The strong are fluid and adaptable, and they can thrive in any environment. The ninth principle is to understand the power of perception. Reality is subjective, and people's perceptions are often more important than the truth. You can manipulate people's perceptions by controlling the information they receive, by shaping their beliefs, and by influencing their emotions. This is the art of propaganda, and it is a powerful tool for achieving your goals. The 10th principle is to be willing to break the rules. The rules are made by those in power, and they are designed to keep them in power. If you want to challenge the established order, you must be willing to break the rules. This does not mean that you should be reckless or irresponsible. However, you should not be afraid to push the boundaries, to challenge the status quo, and to do whatever it takes to achieve your goals. This strategy is not for everyone. It is a dark and dangerous path, and it can lead to moral compromise and personal destruction. However, it is also the path to power, influence, and success. If you are willing to embrace the Machiavellian principles, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. But be warned, the price of power is often higher than you expect. Consider the rise and fall of empires. History is a brutal teacher, offering lessons that are rarely heeded. Every empire, from the Roman to the British, believed in its own invincibility. They amassed wealth, built armies, and spread their influence across the globe, convinced that their dominance was inevitable and divinely ordained. Yet, beneath the surface of their power, the seeds of their destruction were already sown. Complacency, internal corruption, and a failure to adapt to changing circumstances are recurring themes in the narratives of collapsed empires. The leaders, drunk on power, become detached from reality, surrounded by sycophants who reinforce their delusions of grandeur. They lose touch with the needs of their people, and their decisions become increasingly erratic and self-serving. The focus shifts from the collective good to personal enrichment, and the empire begins to rot from the inside out. This pattern isn't just confined to ancient history. It's a constant danger for any organization, any individual that achieves a position of power. The human ego is a fragile thing, easily inflated by success and prone to the belief that the rules no longer apply. This is a fatal flaw, a weakness that can be exploited by rivals and ultimately lead to downfall. Think about the cost of war. Beyond the immediate bloodshed and destruction, wars expose the true nature of power. They reveal the ruthlessness and the calculated sacrifices that are necessary to achieve victory. Nations engage in propaganda, manipulating public opinion to justify their actions and demonize their enemies. They form alliances, betray alliances, and break treaties whenever it suits their interests. The moral high ground is often a convenient fiction, a mask worn to conceal the brutal reality of the struggle for survival. Leaders are forced to make impossible choices, weighing the lives of their own soldiers against the potential gains of a particular strategy. There are no easy answers, no guarantees of success, and the consequences of failure are often catastrophic. The history of warfare is a history of deception, betrayal, and calculated violence. It's a stark reminder that power is not about ideals or principles, but about the cold, hard reality of survival. Wars also serve as powerful catalysts for technological advancement and social change. The need to gain an advantage over the enemy drives innovation, leading to breakthroughs in weaponry, communication, and medicine. However, these advancements often come at a great cost, both in terms of human lives and the long-term impact on society. The technologies developed for war can be used for both good and evil, and the legacy of conflict often lingers long after the fighting has stopped. The psychological toll of war on soldiers and civilians is immense, leading to trauma, PTSD, and a deep sense of disillusionment. The experience of witnessing violence and death can fundamentally alter a person's worldview, eroding their faith in humanity and leaving them scarred for life. This psychological damage can have far-reaching consequences, impacting families, communities, and entire nations. The truth about war is often hidden beneath layers of propaganda and patriotic rhetoric. The realities of combat, the suffering of civilians, and the long-term consequences of conflict are rarely discussed openly. Instead, the focus is on heroic narratives, military victories, and the justification of violence in the name of national security. This selective portrayal of war serves to maintain public support and to prevent critical examination of its true costs. The understanding that war is inherently brutal and inhumane is crucial for navigating the complexities of power and influence. Those who romanticize war or believe in its inherent nobility are often the most easily manipulated by those who seek to exploit it for their own gain. A clear-eyed assessment of the realities of conflict is essential for making informed decisions about when and how to use force, and for mitigating its devastating consequences. The pursuit of power demands a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and to reject the comforting lies that society perpetuates. Recognizing the inherent brutality of human nature is not an endorsement of it, but rather a necessary step in understanding how to navigate a world filled with both opportunity and danger. The truth that they hide is that control is not about brute force, but about the manipulation of perception and the shaping of narratives. It is about understanding the desires, fears, and vulnerabilities of others and exploiting them for personal gain. Those who are unwilling to acknowledge this reality are doomed to be victims of it. The world is not a fair or just place. Good things happen to bad people, and bad things happen to good people. There is no cosmic balance sheet that ensures that everyone gets what they deserve. To believe otherwise is to be naive and unprepared for the harsh realities of life. The truth is that you are responsible for your own success and happiness. No one is going to hand you anything. You must be willing to work harder, smarter, and more ruthlessly than anyone else to achieve your goals. This requires a degree of self-reliance and determination that is rare in today's society. Most people are content to drift through life, following the herd and accepting whatever scraps are thrown their way. But those who seek power must be willing to break from the herd and forge their own path. This will inevitably lead to conflict and opposition. There will be those who try to tear you down, to undermine your efforts, and to prevent you from achieving your goals. These individuals may be motivated by jealousy, resentment, or simply a desire to maintain the status quo. Whatever their reasons, you must be prepared to meet them head-on and to overcome their resistance. The truth is that the world is full of obstacles and challenges, and only those who are willing to fight for what they want will ever achieve true success. The ability to make difficult decisions under pressure is a crucial skill for anyone seeking power. There will be times when you are faced with choices that have no easy answers, when every option seems fraught with risk and uncertainty. In these situations, it is essential to remain calm, focused, and objective. You must weigh the potential consequences of each course of action and choose the path that is most likely to lead to your desired outcome. This may require you to make unpopular decisions, to sacrifice short-term gains for long-term benefits, or even to betray the trust of others. The truth is that leadership often requires making difficult choices, and those who are unwilling to do so are not fit to lead. Mastering the art of manipulation is essential for navigating the complexities of human interaction. Every interaction is a negotiation, a subtle dance of power and influence. Those who understand the principles of persuasion and psychology are able to shape the outcomes of these interactions to their advantage. This does not necessarily mean being dishonest or deceitful. Manipulation can also involve appealing to people's emotions, inspiring their hopes, and motivating them to take action. The key is to understand what drives people and to use that knowledge to influence their behavior. The truth is that everyone is susceptible to manipulation to some extent, and those who believe themselves to be immune are often the most easily controlled. The accumulation of wealth is a necessary condition for achieving true power. Money is not the only form of power, but it is certainly one of the most important. Wealth provides access to resources, opportunities, and influence that are simply not available to those who are struggling to make ends meet. It allows you to control your own destiny, to pursue your passions, and to make a meaningful impact on the world. The pursuit of wealth should not be seen as an end in itself, but rather as a means to an end. It is a tool that can be used to achieve greater things, to create value, and to improve the lives of others. The truth is that wealth is power, and those who possess it are able to shape the world in their image. The cultivation of self-discipline is essential for achieving any worthwhile goal. The ability to control your impulses, to resist temptation, and to stay focused on your objectives is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Self-discipline is not an innate quality, but rather a skill that can be developed through practice and repetition. It requires a willingness to delay gratification, to endure discomfort, and to persevere through adversity. The truth is that self-discipline is the foundation of all achievement, and those who lack it are destined to fail. The acceptance of personal responsibility is a fundamental principle of self-mastery. You are responsible for your own actions, your own choices, and your own outcomes. You cannot blame others for your failures or take credit for their successes. You must own your mistakes, learn from them, and move forward with a renewed determination to succeed. The truth is that you are the master of your own destiny, and your success or failure depends entirely on you. The constant pursuit of knowledge is essential for staying ahead of the curve. The world is constantly changing, and those who fail to adapt will be left behind. You must be a lifelong learner, constantly seeking out new information, new skills, and new perspectives. Read widely, attend conferences, network with experts, and never stop questioning the assumptions that you hold. The truth is that knowledge is power, and those who possess it are able to navigate the complexities of the modern world with greater confidence and skill. The development of a strong network of relationships is crucial for achieving success in any field. No one succeeds alone. You need the support, guidance, and assistance of others to achieve your goals. Build relationships with people who are smarter than you, more experienced than you, and more connected than you. Offer value to others, be generous with your time and resources, and always be willing to help those who are in need. The truth is that your network is your net worth, and those who invest in their relationships will reap the rewards for years to come. The willingness to take risks is essential for achieving extraordinary results. Playing it safe may protect you from failure, but it will also prevent you from achieving your full potential. You must be willing to step outside of your comfort zone, to try new things, and to embrace the possibility of failure. Learn from your mistakes, adapt to changing circumstances, and never give up on your dreams. The truth is that the greatest rewards come to those who are willing to take the greatest risks. The development of a clear and compelling vision is essential for inspiring others to follow you. People are drawn to leaders who have a clear sense of purpose, a strong set of values, and a compelling vision for the future. Articulate your vision clearly, communicate it passionately, and demonstrate your commitment to achieving it. The truth is that leadership is about inspiring others to believe in your vision and to work together to make it a reality. The mastery of communication is essential for influencing others and achieving your goals. The ability to communicate clearly, persuasively, and effectively is a crucial skill for anyone seeking power. Learn to write well, speak confidently, and listen attentively. Master the art of storytelling and use it to connect with people on an emotional level. The truth is that communication is the key to influence, and those who master it are able to shape the world in their image. The ability to adapt to changing circumstances is essential for survival in a competitive world. The world is constantly evolving, and those who are rigid and inflexible will be left behind. Be open to new ideas, be willing to experiment, and be prepared to change course when necessary. The truth is that adaptability is the key to resilience, and those who possess it are able to thrive in any environment. The development of a strong moral compass is essential for maintaining integrity in a world of corruption. Power can corrupt, and it is easy to lose your way when you are surrounded by temptation. Develop a strong set of values and live by them consistently. Be honest, be fair, and be just in all of your dealings. The truth is that integrity is the foundation of trust, and those who lack it will ultimately be exposed. The understanding of human psychology is essential for manipulating and controlling others. Learn about the cognitive biases, emotional triggers, and psychological vulnerabilities that drive human behavior. Use this knowledge to influence people's perceptions, shape their decisions, and control their actions. The truth is that everyone is susceptible to psychological manipulation, and those who understand the principles of psychology are able to exploit these vulnerabilities for their own gain. The acceptance of the dark side of human nature is essential for understanding the world as it truly is. Human beings are capable of great acts of kindness and compassion, but they are also capable of great acts of cruelty and violence. Do not be naive about the potential for evil in the world. Be aware of the dangers and be prepared to defend yourself against them. The truth is that the world is a dangerous place, and only the strong survive. The recognition that power is the ultimate currency is essential for navigating the complexities of human interaction. Everything is about power. Every relationship, every transaction, every interaction is a struggle for power. Understand the dynamics of power and learn how to wield it effectively.